Under the deep blue night sky of Barcelona, the Olympic Luis Companys Stadium erupted into flames of passion on a Champions League night no one will forget. The roar of the crowd, the relentless runs, and the spellbinding football turned the pitch into a theater where pressure and expectation collided. Barca stepped out like a team on a mission to rediscover itself, and in that symphony of revival, three names shone brighter than the rest: a cold-blooded veteran, a free-spirited samba dancer, and a fearless young gun. Raphinha, Lewandowski, and Lamine Yamal. Each carried his own story, but together they authored a powerful new chapter. Let's rewind the match, a night where everything changed in just 90 minutes. From the first whistle, Barcelona charged forward with blazing intensity, as if to declare this first leg of the quarterfinals a statement of intent. Borussia Dortmund didn't sit back. They played with resolve and structure. But by the 20th minute, the cracks began to show. Barca's poise and sharpness started to speak volumes. The breakthrough came as if scripted. In the 25th minute, from a set piece on the right, the ball was floated toward the far post. Center-back Pau Cubarsí timed his run perfectly and struck it with the outside of his boot, sending a low shot that left keeper Cabell helpless. But just before the ball crossed the line, Raphinha darted in for a final touch from point-blank range. A controversial deflection, some say it stole the glory. The stadium held its breath as VAR reviewed the moment. A few tense seconds passed. Goal confirmed. Perhaps Cubarsí wasn't upset. After all, Raphinha is chasing the Ballon d'Or and every goal counts in that race. Barely 3 minutes into the second half, Barcelona struck again. A careless midfield turnover gifted the ball to Yamal. The 17-year-old burst downfield with ruthless intent before whipping in a cross to Raphinha on the right. But instead of pulling the trigger, the Brazilian calmly headed it across the box to Lewandowski, who tapped it into an open net. 2-0. Barcelona, simple, lethal counterattack. It wasn't just the scoreboard that hurt Dortmund, it was the timing, the execution, the sense that Barca knew exactly when to kill. But Barcelona wasn't finished. In the 66th minute, Dortmund once again fell into the pressing trap. As their backline pushed up, F. Lopez released Yamal with a clever ball. A few neat touches later, the ball landed at the feet of Lewandowski just outside the box. The Polish striker moved sharply and fired a cold-blooded finish into the near post, giving Kobel no chance. It was the strike of a seasoned assassin, one who's danced on stages big and small across Europe. Dortmund may have thought the damage was done, but Barca had one final blow to deliver. In the 77th minute, the visitors pushed forward in search of a consolation goal but paid a heavy price. A midfield turnover sparked another blistering counter. Raphinha surged ahead and slipped in a perfectly weighted pass for Yamal, who peeled away from his marker and coolly slotted the ball past Kobel for the fourth. No wild celebration, just a quiet smile and an embrace with Raphinha, a silent thank you. 4 goals, but more importantly, a masterclass in control from start to finish, a performance close to perfection. Barcelona ended the night with complete command, 60% possession, 18 shots, 10 on target. In contrast, Dortmund managed just 3 shots that actually tested Ter Stegen. The expected goals XA stat told the same story, 3.71 for Barca, just 1.29 for the visitors. The 3 protagonists of this magnificent night all left their mark. Lewandowski bagged a brace, Raphinha added a goal and 2 assists, and Yamal contributed a goal and an assist. Together, they mapped out Barcelona's road to victory. Notably, this marks Barca's 23rd consecutive unbeaten match in 2025, with 19 wins in that span. Luis Companys is no longer a temporary stop, it's become a fortress, a place where opponents now tread carefully. The opening goal by Raphinha may be debated. His last-second touch just inches from Cubarsí's strike sparked controversy. But in moments that matter, that's what Ballon d'Or contenders do. Yet to only talk about that goal is to overlook the depth of Raphinha's brilliance. Beyond scoring, Raphinha was the pulse of Barca's attack. His 2 assists were defining, a pinpoint header for Lewandowski and a razor-sharp through ball for Yamal. Throughout the match, no Dortmund player could match his tempo. He danced like a samba artist, but passed like a master tactician. With 12 goals and 7 assists in just 11 Champions League matches this season, Raphinha now has 19 direct goal involvements, matching Lionel Messi's best-ever UCL season tally. Even more impressively, he leads the tournament in both goals and assists, contributing to nearly half of Barca's total goals. One could imagine Messi watching this match with a proud smile. If Raphinha brought flair and inspiration, Lewandowski was the embodiment of composure and precision. At 36, he's no longer the pressing machine of his Bayern Munich days, but he remains a cold-blooded predator in the box. That first goal, a close-range header, was the product of intelligent movement, perfect timing, and sensing when Dortmund's defense blinked. The second was even more clinical: 2 touches, no fuss, ruthless execution. And Lewandowski wasn't done yet. He went on to make Champions League history, becoming the first player ever to score 10 goals in a single UCL season for 3 different clubs: Dortmund, Bayern Munich, and now Barcelona. The irony? He did it against the very team that first launched him into the spotlight, and as if to prove that the past is just that, history, Lewandowski now has 29 goals in 28 appearances against Dortmund, a cold, brutal stat for the Ruhr club to digest. But we can't talk about this magical night without mentioning Lamine Yamal. The 17-year-old didn't just score, he made history, becoming the second youngest player ever to score in a Champions League quarterfinal. But it wasn't just about numbers, it was about how he did it. One clever run, one silky touch to shake off Barcelona, and then, bang, a clinical finish. The entire sequence took under 3 seconds. Yamal didn't just get on the score sheet, he impacted the entire match. His sharp dribbling, ice-cold decision-making, and relentless pressure kept Dortmund's backline on edge all night long. There were no wasted moves, no pointless dribbles. Every run had intent, every touch applied pressure, and with an assist to Lewandowski on top of his goal, it's easy to forget he's still just 17. And maybe that's the scariest part. A kid who's not even old enough to drive is already dictating the rhythm of a Champions League quarterfinal. Under Hansi Flick, Yamal is no longer a raw gem waiting to be polished. He's become an essential cog in the Barca machine. A bright future awaits him, and it's arriving faster than anyone imagined. And speaking of Hansi Flick, it would be a disservice not to highlight the man orchestrating it all. Flick isn't just a coach. He's an architect. A man who's taken a shaky squad and transformed it into a ruthless, well-oiled winning machine. Against Dortmund, Barcelona struck the perfect balance: methodical possession mixed with lightning-fast counters that punished every mistake. Their attacks didn't need many touches, just the right ones. Classic Flick football, straight out of his Bayern Munich playbook. He doesn't want possession for the sake of it. He uses the ball to stretch the field, set traps, and strike with precision. Barcelona's exploitation of the space behind Dortmund's high line was no accident. It was Flick's blueprint, executed to perfection. With this win, Barca extends its unbeaten run in 2025 to 23 matches, but they're not just winning, they're dominating, making opponents look powerless. In La Liga, they're sitting atop the table. In the Copa del Rey, they've already booked their ticket to the final, and in the Champions League, they're now just one step away from the semis, where either Inter Milan or Bayern Munich awaits. And suddenly, what once seemed like a distant dream, a treble, now looks more real than ever.